Hi everyone, welcome back to Linger Longer with Books. My name's Catherine, and in this week's video I'm taking you on a special literary trip and I turn 40. It's currently Saturday the 4th of October and I'm going to take you backwards and forwards a little bit in this video, so it's not going to be exactly linear, and that's because yesterday on Friday the 3rd I went to Chartwell in Kent. Now Chartwell, for those of you not familiar with it, it was the kind of long-term home of Sir Winston Churchill. He was British Prime Minister twice over, an incredibly sort of well-known figure around the world in terms of World War II history especially. But it's a place, Chartwell, that I've always wanted to go, especially the last few years. It's kind of been gnawing at me, and actually in my reading journal, that was one of the places that I had set myself as goal, was to visit Chartwell this year. So I thought, right, I'm about to turn 40. The weather is getting worse, the storms are on their way, and the days are getting shorter. So I thought that I would use my day off Friday, yesterday, and I would head there despite the weather forecasts, which is exactly what I did. So I'm going to roll the footage that I captured and add a little voiceover so you can get a sense of the really kind of interesting and kind of, what's another word to describe it? Well, I'm glad that I went. I think that's what I would say. It's a whole experience. You feel like you're really going back in past because it's a National Trust property. It really is how the Churchills kind of lived and Winston worked especially. So just a really special place. But without further ado, I shall roll the footage and I shall pop back on a little bit later to show you what I bought in the shop, obviously this being one of the things. I caught the train from Southampton and headed to Kent via London. I arrived to a rainy Chartwell, but I was definitely ready to explore. Inside, the property was very evocative of the period the Churchills lived here, from 1922 to 1965. As you might have guessed it, this is the library, and this is where Winston Churchill would write and practice many of his well-known speeches. And I happen to really like this portrait of the man himself. The National Trust has taken care to actually profile the role of women during the Second World War. This is the bedroom of Winston's wife, Clementine, really lovely and really charming. I hadn't appreciated that Winston Churchill won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1953. I was so glad to see Churchill's siren suit. This looks like the ultimate cosy onesie. This is Churchill's study where he would practice many of his speeches. His bedroom is behind the tiny door there just featured. Despite the rain, it was lovely to see the exterior of Chartwell and take in some of the autumn fresh air, and I did love the mist, I have to say. The upside of the bad weather meant that the grounds were lovely and quiet and peaceful. I'll make sure to return in better weather, but Chartwell has a huge estate and beautiful grounds. Of course, I could not visit Jock's second-hand bookshop. Here it is. Here's the inside of the cabin. It's incredibly cute and cosy. And actually, I came away empty-handed on this occasion. Here's a closer up look of some of the fiction shelves. They had a great variety of non-fiction as well as fiction. I hope you enjoyed the footage that I shared there. It's always a little bit difficult in those sorts of situations and locations because some of the rooms can be obviously quite quiet, quite small. You're trying to respect everyone's privacy, even though there are some other people around you with cameras mainly taking photos rather than getting footage. But yeah, I hope that gave you kind of a real sense of the place. I did come home a little bit damp, a little bit soggy, but I had lovely kind of bowl of chilli and a chunk of bread in the lovely cafe there before I left. So I did promise that I would show a couple of bits that I bought in the gift shop. So one, as I said, this was the guidebook, which was £5. I just thought it was really like worthwhile getting, because I can just quietly kind of flick through room by room and get a sense, a deeper understanding of those rooms and those locations, more so than obviously they had volunteers in each of the rooms doing a great work, just giving you a flavour of when the Churchills kind of lived there. They actually gave over the property to the National Trust in 1966. So I bought that for £5. That'd be nice. I can share that with interested friends and family. And then I got an enamel pin, of course, to add to my cloth. And that shall be featured on my social media channels, especially my Instagram channel. If you're not following, please come over and follow me over there. I post most days. But I bought Jock the 7th of Chartwell. He is the current resident Ginger Tom. And I just thought, and Shelby's just sat here right off the camera if his tail makes an appearance. Don't think he was very impressed when I just showed him Jock. What do you think of Jock? No, nothing. And he's just looking at it. He's like, what's that? Can I eat it? But yes, that should be going on my cloth. And then I got the essential, the magnetic fridge magnet, obviously magnetic magnet. That was £3. I think this was £3 as well. So yeah, just to come away with a few little mementos from the day. But saying all of that, this is a long weekend for me. I've got Friday, that was yesterday, and I've got Monday off work because I am turning 40. That's Sunday, that's tomorrow as I film this. So I'm going to jump back on here at some point, maybe Sunday, if I feel like it, but maybe Monday morning, and share with you how my birthday celebrations went, and the high likelihood that I've been bought some bookish things for my birthday. So I shall see you again very soon. It is now Sunday the 5th of October, which means it's my birthday. The badge gives it away, doesn't it? I'm having a lovely day so far as I film this. This morning I woke up and I opened all my lovely cards and gifts from friends and family, so feeling very loved. We went out for a really nice lunch with my mum and then headed to my gran's so we could have some lovely chocolate fudge homemade birthday cake together. So I've not long been home, but I thought that I would pop on here and show you the bookish related gifts that I've been given. One of them has definitely featured on my channel a few weeks ago, and that was the Poirot bear that I was given by my dad and stepmom. He is up, I don't know if you can see him right in the corner of this footage. You definitely see his tummy and his walking cane, I think. But he's looking dapper and handsome as ever in his case up there. So that was one of my incredible gifts. Another gift that I have received is this page embosser, I think it's called, and it has it definitely has Linger Longer with books on it and my name. Let me see if I can read backwards easily. Oh, I can't, but I'm very much looking forward to stamping my books that I know that I'm going to keep, that I'm not going to donate or pass on. These are going to be ones that will be with me for a very, very long time. So really looking forward to using that. I've always wanted one, but haven't ever had one before. I've had stamps, but this is obviously a game changer and the best type, I think, of permanent kind of, this book is mine. So there's that. Then there are 3 books here. So first up is a book that I bought myself, I think in honour of my birthday, and that was Love and Marriage in the Age of Jane Austen, and this is by Rory Muir. because it is Jane Austen 250 still. I am really interested in learning more about the period of history in which Jane Austen lived. This book looks at, let me just read a little bit of the blurb for you. It says, marriage is at the centre of Jane Austen's novels. The pursuit of husbands and wives, advantageous matches, and of course love itself motivate her characters and continue to fascinate readers today. But what were love and marriage like in reality for ladies and gentlemen in Regency England? So hopefully this will be a really interesting read. It's a bit of a chunky one, but I'm sure there's obviously various chapters within. Let's have a look. All sorts. So there's meeting, attraction, courtship, proposals, careers, children, unhappy marriages, widows and widowers, growing old together, etc. So this was online for an unbeatable price of around £7, I think, for hardback. So I snapped that one up. Another is a pre-order that I made a little while ago, not too long ago, I don't think, and that is Love at First Fright by Nadia El Fassi. I saw Nadia speak this time last year, I think it was, with Lucy Jane Wood. Sorry, name's just gone completely out of my head. I'm reading her first novel, Bewitched, at the moment because it is autumn and October, and that's the law. So yes, I realised that her first novel was called Best Hex Ever, I believe, and this is her second. So with Lucy and Nadia, I'm really trying to read their first ones first, obviously, and then I will get to these. But this was one that I couldn't pass by either. I'm loving the purple, I'm loving the gold, and it's kind of a lovely like lilac lavender colour inside. So what's this novel about? It says, in this cosy and spicy paranormal romance from the author of Best Hex Ever, a successful horror writer whose novel is being adapted into a movie clashes with the lead actor on a set in a haunted mansion. That sounds like real fun. That's not like anything I've ever read before. So this might be for next October, Halloween time. I'm trying to be quite realistic. I'm not going to get through the like 8 books that I want to in October in my head, but this will be one. So watch this space. It will feature on my channels. But yeah, really happy to now own a copy of that one. And the last book I wanted to share with you is a really special gift that I was given today by my brother-in-law, Owen. He knows, being married to my twin sister, Rachel, that we are both absolute book nerds. There's no getting around it or denying it. So what he's bought me is incredible, and that is a Folio Society edition of Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. This is my favourite Agatha Christie novel. It doesn't feature any detective like Poirot, Marple. It is all around the plot. If I can shake this very gently while I tell you the plot. It is, we head to Soldier Island, and there are 10 strangers who assemble there, and they don't know, they're really a bit confused about kind of why they're quite there. They've all been invited by a person called UN Owen, and basically they come to understand that their crimes of years past that they probably each individually thought they'd gotten away with has come back to kind of haunt them, and they each start dying one by one in kind of disturbing and very personal ways, to the premise that they must kind of pay for their crimes, that there must be some sense of justice. So it was originally published, I think, 1939, just as the start of the Second World War. I could be wrong, let me check. And then I shall show you inside this beautiful copy. So it's just had a second print in 2025. Yeah, it was first published in the UK by Collins Crime Club in November 1939. So just as the Second World War was beginning to take its grip on the world. And I'll just show you the cover. So we have a skull, and we have the characters sort of the outlines of the characters here. Beautiful sort of red and blacks. There's a black spine here. And then inside, I think I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Oh dear, that wasn't good timing. It is a beautiful typeface font. Not sure what you quite call it, I'm sorry. But it has beautiful black and white illustrations in keeping with the sort of the atmosphere and the tone of the book. And there are 10 figurines on the table in the house that they're gathered in, and every time a person dies, a figurine disappears, and they think, well, who is taking those? But it's extremely gripping. I would highly recommend you reading this if you are interested in Agatha Christie stories. It's a standalone, like I said. It's very engrossing. It will keep you page turning until the very end. It's got one of the best original twists, I think, ever in fiction, definitely 20th century fiction. And I'm just spotted here. It's got an author's note from Agatha herself. And it said, I had written this book because it was so difficult to do. Sorry, I'll start again. I had written this book because it was so difficult to do that the idea had fascinated me. 10 people had to die without it becoming ridiculous or the murderer being obvious. I wrote the book after a tremendous amount of planning, and I was pleased with what I had made of it. It was clear, straightforward, baffling, and yet had a perfectly reasonable explanation. In fact, it had to have an epilogue in order to explain it. So I won't go on, but yes, that's what Agatha kind of reflected herself about her experience of writing this book. So that is a beautiful copy. I must say thank you to my brother-in-law, and it's got a beautiful kind of hard case to keep it in, and that's where it shall stay on my Agatha bookshelves upstairs on my landing. I will make space for it. It will take pride of place, and that's beautiful. A keepsake copy. So there you go. Those are the bookish birthday bits that I thought that I would share with you. I realise I've actually made it sound like I've got other bookish birthday bits to show you, and I'm not. I haven't, I don't think, unless I've forgotten any standout pieces. But I hope you have enjoyed this week's video. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me and having a sort of a look inside Chartwell, Winston Churchill's house in the lovely county of Kent. I highly recommend you visiting if you are in that neck of the woods, so to speak. It's a National Trust property. You don't have to be a National Trust member to go in. You just pay on the door and pay on the day, and I think you can pre-book online. So maybe recommend that, especially if you're visiting in sort of busier tourist times like summer holidays and things. And then also thank you for joining in the sort of the birthday bits. Sorry if you can hear Shelby jumping up and down on the chairs. Where is he? He's somewhere on the ground now. Oh, he's gone round me. He's there. But yeah, like I said, I've had a lovely birthday. Don't think it will sink in quite that I'm 40 for a little while. It's quite a milestone. It's quite a big number, isn't it, in that regard? But I'm sure I'll be fine when I wake up tomorrow. Plus, by the time this video comes out, I'll have had another day off. I've got Monday as leave as well, which makes it a really nice long weekend. So that doesn't put the sort of downer on the birthday and the Sunday night blues this evening. So yes, I shall wrap the video up here. I hope you're all doing really, really well, and I hope you've got some time set aside this week for some reading, whether that's your paperback, hardback, audiobook, whatever it might be. I mentioned before that I'm currently reading Bewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I think I'm about 20% through, so I'm really going to enjoy reading more of that this evening, I think, with some TV on in the background probably. For Monday itself, the day that this video goes out, I think I'm going to take myself off with my MacBook, and I'm going to go and write some of the story that I have got in my mind and want to get down on paper. I haven't written for a couple of months now, so that urge is growing growing stronger to do that. So I think I might have a creative day tomorrow, and who knows, that might feature on my channels as footage or photos. So watch this space if you're interested in my writing journey. It's something I really haven't spoken much about so far. It's something that I am pursuing slowly and steadily, but I really know that I need to consciously kind of commit to carving out more time to write. But that sort of whole conundrum that if I more writing time equals less reading time, so I'm just going to have to make peace with that. But that's just the way it goes, isn't it? Because can't magic more time out of any day. So anyway, for those of you who have watched this far, a huge thank you as always. And my loyal followers by now know that I do a call out in every video to let me know that you're out there and that you have watched this far. So in honour of birthday, big birthday, leave me a 40, or leave me balloons, a cake, a cocktail or a wine glass. That would be lovely. Let me know if you have any special editions of your favourite books and which ones they are. I'd love to know. It's always well, it's always lovely to have multiple editions of a book. It's not something that I have a lot of, but I absolutely, with Agatha Christie, something that I will have multiple versions of her books. Absolutely. The Mousetrap as a play is another example right off the top of my head. I have several copies of that. So anyway, I'm going to go now, pour something nice and refreshing. It might be tea, it might be something else, who knows. Something enjoyable anyway. And I shall curl up with my blanket, with my book, and with Shelby. I'm sure he will jump on my lap as well to enjoy some of that kind of downtime. But anyway, I'm in danger of rambling, so I'm going to sign off here, but I shall see you in next week's video. Bye. I thought that I would leave you with a shot of the beautiful cards that I received from friends and family, some bookish ones amongst them.